God's heart is for connection, and He's designed us for it. So, while big group settings are incredibly valuable for teaching the Word, small group times provide great opportunities for everyone to interact with each other and for truths to sink into children's hearts. In a small group, you're investing in the lives of a few to encourage authentic faith. Jesus led this way with His disciples, and see what an impact they had on the world. This is the pattern we see set out in the New Testament, that we would regularly come together in smaller groups to be built up as we gather around Jesus and His Word. The writer of Hebrews says, "And let us consider how we may spur one another toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as we see the day approaching." Let's put this into action in our small groups. Let's remember to focus on connection. Kids love fun, so the feel and vibe of your small group isn't generally going to feel the same as your adult small group that meets weekly. Here are a few helpful ideas on setting the tone for a small group time with the kids. Begin with an icebreaker or game. Break the ice with a short game where kids can connect and get to know each other a bit more, or ask one or two silly questions first. Linking your icebreaker with the lesson definitely helps to build towards what you want to discuss. And then you'll want to create a relaxed environment. Children will pay better attention when they're comfortable with as little distractions around them as possible. Now let's look at how we can facilitate the discussion. There are no exact formulas, but here are 11 tips that we found really helpful. We discuss them more in depth in the book, so listen closely and see which ones you need to read more about. Firstly, have a clear plan and be ready to change it. Then lead the kids rather than have them lead you. Scratch the surface a little bit before you go deeper. Slow down and allow time for them to think and answer. For this one, you'll need to grow in being okay with awkward silences. Rephrase effectively. If you wait several seconds and it seems like no one understands the question, then you can rephrase it. This is an underrated discussion tool. Value their insights and encourage others to do the same, but gently guide the discussion to help it from going off topic. And listen. You can only know where your kids are at and understand the direction of the conversation if you're giving full attention to the group. Let your kids' responses shape the movement of the discussion. Communicate love, not judgment, with your tone and the way you respond to questions and answers. And don't force conclusions or answers. Maybe you didn't end the conversation where you thought you would, and that's okay. And lastly, follow up. After the discussion is over, don't miss your opportunity to follow up with the kids about what they've said. God's heart is for us to value each child and prioritize connection. We trust that these few keys have helped stimulate fresh desire for deeper connection in your small group times with the children.